So today's film was one that I've actually been wanting to see since I worked at Warner Archive Collection about 5 years ago. I remember, I think it actually came out on DVD before I started working there, but I remember like discovering it in the collection and wanting to watch it, and everyone was like, "I don't know, Mariah, it's a little weird." But like lots of movies are a little weird, especially movies made in the late 60s as the decline of the studio system and its rumblings were being felt, and people were trying to make sort of satirical, biting looks at that system. There's several of these films from that era, and this falls into that category. This was directed and produced by Robert Aldrich from a teleplay by Hugo Butler and Edward de Blasio, with a screenplay by Robert Thorne. In the original teleplay, the main character was played not by Kim Novak. Oh my god, my screen just went to the wrong page. Why you gotta do that? Not by Natalie Wood. I was thinking about Natalie Wood earlier. Not by Kim Novak, but by Tuesday Weld. And I actually kind of want to see Tuesday Weld in this role. She's really good at playing over the top. The thing with Kim Novak, I love her, but she's too grounded. She doesn't really do camp very well. She's a serious actress, and that's great, and I love her in everything I've seen her in, but this film really needed someone who could do camp a little better. Unfortunately, that didn't. The entire film basically wanted to be at one level of camp and didn't quite get there. And when the film was originally released, it was mostly blamed on Novak. And that's mostly because she's the lead here. But Aldrich basically said it was his job to get the film where it needed to be, and he didn't get it there because he was the director-producer. So I'm glad that he took credit for its failure. That said, it is a glorious failure. And with many moments of actual biting, wonderful commentary on the dog-eat-dog world of Hollywood and stardom. It also co-stars Peter Finch as the director of the film, within the film kind of thing, Ernest Borgnine as a ruthless studio head, very different from Marty, let me tell you what. Michael Murphy as his son. I interviewed him once. He's a nice dude. Valentina Cortez. Rosella Falk as a predatory lesbian. You gotta have one of those. Who else is in it? Like Lee Merriweather's in it for a hot minute. I don't think anyone else really of. So the plot is that an agent finds a woman named Elsa Brinkman, played by Kim Novak, who looks just like the legendary Lylah Clare, an actress who, at the height of her stardom in the 30s, killed a man and then fell to her death. That's quite a legend. So, he wants to make a biopic of her with her husband, who was a director, Louis Zarkon, played by Peter Finch. As she's brought into this world, like the Finch character goes from being this tyrant, horrible person to being her lover, but also still a terrible tyrant of a person. She gets stalked by the predatory lesbian Rosella, who 20 years earlier stalked the actress. And as she makes this biopic, her life starts to mirror the life of Lylah until the two of them are combined into one person. And the question that the film never quite decides how to answer is Lylah actually possessing this Elsa woman? I think yes. I think that's what they were trying to say. I think it was supposed to be sort of a little cosmic and phantasmagoric, but I don't know that it went far enough to make you realize that that's what was happening. But Novak really does her all, and like I said, it's a great performance, just not for a camp film, and this really wants to be a camp film. Like, her performance feels like it belongs in, what is that? The Last Tycoon, which was not camp, but a satirical look at old Hollywood. But this is more camp, and it needed like a Lana Turner or somebody who at the end of her career was just all camp, you know. What else to say? Beautiful costumes. At one point, there's a shot of Kim Novak as Lylah in a dress that was actually the dress that Joan Crawford wore and the bride wore red. That was kind of fun to see. There's just some strange moments in this film that don't all make sense. It doesn't ever always work, but there's moments that are so good that you're like, I don't even care that this isn't working. And the very last moment of the film is perfect. It's perfect. Like he hit that landing at the perfect note. So if it's a little creaky and sometimes flat out boring for stretches, and then just weird without making sense of what it's trying to say, the ending really makes it worth watching. What else do I have to say about this? I don't know. Robert Aldrich has such a strange career. He's done some of my favorite movies like Autumn Leaves, and he's done just some weird shit. And then he's done like war movies. Like look at his filmography and go, he just wanted to make every kind of movie, I guess, you know? I don't know that he was always a great director of actresses. But then I guess some of my favorite performances from some of my favorite actresses are in Aldrich films because I love the performances in Baby Jane and I love Joan in Autumn Leaves. I don't know. So this also failed because this was Kim Novak's first film in 3 years, and I think it either had to knock it completely out of the park or people were going to tear it apart, and that's really fitting because that's kind of what the film is saying about Hollywood. Like what happened to this film is exactly what this film would have wanted it to happen to this film because it's what the film was saying. So you can get this on DVD from Warner Archive Collection, or you can watch it on Watch TCM, although I think it expires like today. I watched it just under the radar. If you get a chance, check it out. It's very interesting take on the just awful world that is Hollywood filmmaking. Oh, I forgot. There was one more part I really loved where Michael Murphy's character, he's the son of Ernest Borgnine, and he's saying that they could use a good film. And he's like, films! We make movies! We don't make films! And he's like going off about the whole idea of an art film and compared to a movie, and that he makes movies, not art films. And it reminded me of this time when I was a substitute teacher and I was reading a biography of Orson Welles. I have not finished that biography. It's like 1,200 pages. But I was reading it, and this kid was like, this is like a 6th grader. He was like, who's Orson Welles? And I was like, oh, he was a film director. And the kid got a beat, goes, they're called movies now. It was like, kid. But anyways, there, I guess I would admit there's probably a difference between a film, if you're thinking of it that way, and a movie that is for popcorn fun. But there can be movies that are films and films that are movies. And then there's something like this, which is just a little of everything. So if you like camp classics, seek out The Legend of Lylah Clare.